So, as you guys are following along, we're talking about the Math Hoffa, Esso, Heineken. I don't know the cameraman's breakup, and we're talking about the uncomfortable things that are said on these podcasts versus was that weirdoism from you, or was that just an uncomfortable conversation question that you asked to where it just it shift the room. You know what I mean? So again, I have to agree with you. I do think that Heineken does say some uncomfortable things that can be deemed weird. Again, I backpedal and also say the majority of the people in their circle does say that, you know, he's more of on the tuck your tail based on who's in his favor kind of guy. I don't know personally. For all I know, the guy could be a knockout artist and he's afraid of what he might do. I don't know. But I will say sometimes these uncomfortable moments do create bad situations. In that event, I'm going to use the example from the Joe Budden podcast. Just a couple days ago, Almighty Suspect gets into it on No Jumper with a guy named Kelpie. He was on Soft White Underbelly. He's on. Go ahead.
Now, before we do that, let's just hear, you know, why Math Hoffa don't want him on the show.
I fired you. You violated your contract. You got sneaky. You niggas went and got a sponsor. Who knows where the sponsor came from? Started interviewing guests. I saw the clips going up, and I said, yo, these new clips? Yeah, that's what I did. Well, all of y'all niggas screwed now. Simple as that. My nigga, if I'm entering a situation where I need niggas to be dependable, I need niggas to be there. I can't deal with a nigga that disappears when he feel like it. You holding my show hostage. Space Ghost was holding my show hostage. I paid this nigga for episodes that he wasn't there. Told the nigga, yo, just train somebody, bro. I'll still pay you for the episodes you don't do. He refused to get a replacement. So anytime he felt like getting ghost, that was his little flex. Talk about money all you want. I dare these niggas to pull up a receipt. I dare them. It's gonna show, oh, Matt overpaid y'all. What other podcast niggas is getting $3,500 bonuses for nothing? But they gonna sit there and talk about, oh, money, what's the money? No, it wasn't. You niggas turned into snakes. I picked the snake-like movements, and I said, oh, I can't take you niggas to the next level.
I think that's the receipts we needed to hear.
Now they heard about a deal. The number they threw out, I don't even know where they got that. I don't even know where they got that number from, son. That shit crazy. Like, where you, how, and why you even throwing that out there? I'm in a nice spot, but I'm still in the hood. You telling niggas I got 2
That's what I'm saying.
What is you doing?
Right.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Me and Esso had an argument. His ego's out of control. He came back to the shop with a plan. Oh, we gonna juice this nigga and go do our own thing. But then they got win. Oh, wait. This nigga might be signing a deal? Oh. Yo, let's have a meeting. No. You played yourself. That's the...
So, obviously, SO was not in the good graces, regardless of that clip that we heard. So, man, you got to know how to play your position. That's like me doing something and not telling you, like just doing pods, not telling you, and you thinking that we still got something going. And you like, damn, I see Marcus and start doing this thing, or Lou, you know, whatever you want to call me, doing this thing, and he getting 2,000 views. Damn, what he doing to get 2,000? Better yet, why you didn't bring that kind of attention to what we was doing? You know what I'm saying? So I understand where Math was coming from.
I definitely understand where Math is coming from.
I still hurt to see that the cast is dwindling. But
I definitely understand where Math is coming from. But I'm still on it. I'm on the fence about it due to the fact that, and I'm not saying either party are lying. I'm just saying I just really don't know. I think that what Math said does bring some clarity to it, but it still makes me think. because in the interview we had again with Queen's Flip and Joe Budden, I think that message right there, that direct message we just heard, came off a little bit different than what was said on that podcast, and I feel like that's what made everybody probably look at him iffy. Now, if he went back and he cleaned it up with that, I don't know which exactly happened first. I want to say that happened second.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have to look at what Esso, I can't even say what the fuck Heineken said, because Heineken really does not speak for himself. It seems like Esso is the front runner for all the conversations they're going to have. But Esso came in and also cleaned it up his way as well. So I would have to agree that it's sad to see things end up in that kind of way, that kind of light, especially amongst black men.
Now, you said something about Bobby Smurda earlier, and I just, a couple weeks ago I saw him on Drink Champs, very entertaining interview. But a couple days ago they dropped a Michael Eric Dyson interview. I think that everybody needs to tune into that. Go check that out. Shout out to Drink Champs.
Hold on, before you go a little bit further, I wanted to kind of dive back into the podcast part to where things become detrimental based on the kind of communication that's had between podcast members. If you look at the whole No Jumper faction, you'll see that No Jumper has its own thing. Obviously, you have the community back on Fig, and you even have Sharp, who has a podcast through No Jumper called Shark Tank, and all of them are very, 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 very entertaining. You also have some with Duno. You also have the Monday show with Gina Views. I want to get in touch with Gina Views, man. She's put people in the right places. But the communication, just like we saw on My Expert Opinion, is not there. And I saw a couple of days ago that the communication was just not there when it came to, and I want to say Joe Budden was right about this. I didn't want to say this, but Joe Budden is very right about this. One of the most controversial people who sees things before they happen, due to the fact that he's been in a lot of funk his whole career, whether it was with girls,
mm-hmm.
fights, getting into it with kids, chasing them on camera. You'll see all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Sharp gets into it with a guy named Kelpie, based on the fact that he was on the Soft White Underbelly podcast as well. It's kind of like an interview show, and he was acting like he was a pimp. If anybody understands who Sharp is, I even used to see him around in Arizona.
And that's what I was getting to with the whole going to Drink Champs.
Yeah.
Is you don't see this kind of shit with DJ F and the North.
You don't see that. You don't see that.
The petty shit you see going on with some of these podcasts, or the evil, sadistic, behind the back shit that some people may be doing on some of the podcasts.
Yeah.
We see it happen in real time. When we, like I said, I saw it with $1 Million Worth of Game. I can't remember the guy that was there, and he kind of was like the third wheel, keep the energy going guy. And it was a great podcast when it was a 3-man podcast. I give it to him. Gilly and Wallow has always had their thing going the right way.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you see guys who are not the creators of this shit think that they can speak for the creation in the next level, it's like you overstepping your boundary.
Again, yeah, man, that's where I'm going with.
That's what I was saying.
So
you have all these great guests on the show. You got scholars. Michael Eric Dyson, a scholar.
Yeah.
You won't get to that level. Well, I think Matt Hoffa will. I think My Expert Opinion is gonna keep.
I don't think it's muddy enough to
shout
not
out to
get there.
Mav for keeping his shit going, regardless of who's there and who's not.
The show must go on. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You won't be able to see with your own eyes, not through media or a lens or a TV, what's going on if you overstep your boundary like that.
That's me wanting to
you
get
won't
back
get to see all them legendary guests come on the show.
That's me wanting to get back to the whole No Jumper incident, man. Like, I understand why Sharp went at the Kelpie guy. Now, this was on an earlier interview earlier in the year and whatnot. He basically schooled him like, look, yo, bro, you're not a pimp, man. You can do life for all the shit that you say.
And I seen him, and I seen he called somebody a bitch.
Well, going back, Sharp was talking to Kelpie, and he was like, you know, you can go to prison for this type of shit. So now later on, Adam 22 with his co-host Almighty Suspect, who was a great, you know, pretty good, I'll say, California rapper. He brought him on to the show. T-Rail helped him get the job, all that good stuff. He used him as a co-host that day with Kelpie. Kelpie.
This is the second interview.
This is
right?
the second interview. I want to say it's not bad to push the envelope, but understand you got to read the room. I think that if I haven't never thought this, I thought this day. Adam 22 came off as a big culture vulture due to the fact that you got.
I mean, did you see his face?
Which one?
Adam 22.
Yeah, I saw his face.
When this shit popped off, did you see him sitting there like?
Exactly. I
like he was happy to see it pop off, but this is the thing that I respected.
And it was a 9-minute
This is
video.
what I respected about the young. I can't call him nigga. Well, I can. The young nigga. He a white boy, but the young nigga.
Yeah.
At the end of that shit, he said, "You still a bitch." You dig what I'm saying?
And this is the part of the reaction.
It took me back to when I was young, right? I remember losing this fight, right? And I remember all I could think of was start picking grass. Why this nigga hit me? You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason I said start picking grass, because I can't get your big ass off me with these hits and some bitch shit, nigga. Fuck this shit. I'm about to chillin', nigga.
Kind of like this shit ain't
No,
doing
you
shit.
still a bitch.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, no.
So, like it was, I can't remember who was reacting on that video that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he said it perfectly. He said, I give him respect because he still stood on
that
what
he
the fuck he
was a
said.
bitch.
You know what I'm saying? But
And on the other
he got
hand,
fired on. He got fired on.
On the other hand, I understand, Almighty Suspect. I understand that you needed to stand on the whole "don't call me no bitch" kind of thing. But you are a professional now. You are in front of. It's not even TV no more. The internet is being watched more than TV.
I gotta salute him for the reality in it, though. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, man, people are forgetting there's consequences for certain shit you do and say.
Yeah.
So you can't think that you can say anything you want to say. Excuse me. You can say anything you want to say. But a person can do what they want to do in reaction to what you say.
Reaction is a reaction.
You know what I'm saying? And salute to both them brothers because nobody went to jail behind it.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting taken to court for it. And like I said, my man stood on what he said. My man stood on how he felt about what he got caught.
And on another note,
but Adam 22 to agree with you did.
That
looks
was
like he enjoyed that.
Vultures.
And I'm not, and to be playing devil's advocate as a nigga that's a hood nigga, I'ma laugh at some shit too if a nigga says bitch, because I know what's gonna happen. 9
minutes, and that went viral. Like you can't even post that on YouTube. Everybody's getting strikes for it. But 9 minutes, you could go to the No Jumper clips on Instagram, and you can see the whole thing. They don't care.
See that shit on YouTube too.
Oh, word. So now you can
see
it on YouTube.
I seen it on YouTube, and I wasn't even looking for it.
Dude, I'm not mad at anybody in that party. I'm just telling you how it looks.
But my thing is, what I didn't like,
Culture Vultures.
What I didn't like,
Almighty. My bad. Hey, look, Culture Vultures, Almighty Suspect. I think that you set the right tone, but
I gotta say this, man.
You gotta be
just because you work for No Jumper don't mean that you. And I'm not saying that this is the reason why my man that you were talking about earlier was acting like this toward my man, the Kelpie.
The Kelpie guy, yeah, he did that because he deemed him fake.
He was telling this nigga to take his jacket off, man. His coat off, man, in the first interview.
Oh yeah.
Man, let that nigga do his thing, man. If he look like a fool, if he ain't true to what he doing, let him do him. Let him experience what he gonna experience.
Yeah.
Because why he ain't firing on me?
With that being said, tell me, you guys, tell me what you think. Do you feel like Almighty should have fired on him? Do you respect Kelpie for standing on his own too? Do you think that Sharp was wrong for telling him he needs to? He said he wanted to go viral for his SoundCloud. All and everything, I'm fine with. Me personally, if it was me in Almighty's shoes, I probably just would have got up, or sat there and just kept making fun of them on a lighter note. Me personally, I would have sat there and made fun of them, made some jokes here and there, and went at it. I like to still be on camera, and I like to, what I'm saying? I like to expose fake shit. So, you guys tell me what you think on that, man.